better than ever. It's the all-new Sandy Kastel and Friend Show with Sandy Kastel, singer, songwriter, author, and founder of WEMA. She'll be talking with local and international performers, artists, singers, authors, celebrities, and more. Plus, exciting features like WEMA, Women and Men in Music and Arts, insights into Las Vegas real estate, and staying fit and fabulous forever. Now, let's bring on the host. Here is Sandy Kastel.
Good morning. How is everyone today? Oh my gosh, this weather is just different, isn't it? Oh gosh, I can't believe it. Last night, about 4 o'clock, I was sitting there with the Women's Federation for World Peace, and we were working on our upcoming event, which is coming up this Thursday night, the November the 19th. And we were sitting there, and the beautiful sun was coming through the windows, and the palm trees were nice and still. And all of a sudden, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's just like whoosh, this whole big wind came up and this stormy weather, and it was just like blowing the palm trees all over, and I felt like I was in the tropics. And then it continued throughout the night, and I heard the palm trees hitting against the house and, everything. So is this Las Vegas? Oh my gosh, what incredible weather we are having right now. But you know what? I have an amazing guest with me today. And let's see if I say her name correctly. It is Ifeanyi Victoria.
Actually,
it's close.
Yes, you're very close, Sandy. It's actually Ifeanyi Victory.
Ifeanyi Victory. How beautiful. And
Thank
look
you.
how stunning you are.
Thank you.
Yes, it's so funny. You've got some African garb on, I'm going to say that. And have you headdress? Now, do you always wear a headdress?
Most of the time.
You do?
I do, yes.
Why is that?
Primarily for spiritual reasons.
Okay.
Because of who I am and what I do spiritually. Keeping my crown covered is important.
And why is that important? Because obviously, in the American culture, we have our heads exposed.
True. Well, the reasons for why, first of all, let me tell you what it's called.
Okay.
It's called a gele.
A gele.
So whenever you see someone, especially from African culture, who have their hair wrapped, it's called a gele.
Okay.
Usually it's a part of the culture and the fashion, depending upon where you are in Africa. The reason why I wear my hair wrapped most of the time is because, like I said, for spiritual reasons, I have to keep my crown covered. It's like a form of protection. So you should not allow just anybody to do your hair, because that is an energy from their hands to your head. And so we have all type of energies and spiritual things flying around us on a daily basis. So I keep my head covered just to protect my crown, or in the Yoruba tradition, which is the spirituality that I practice, is called your ori.
You ori?
Your ori.
You ori.
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 Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Your, meaning your.
Right.
Your ori.
Okay.
So I keep my ori covered most of the time.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you said, what is your culture?
Yoruba.
Yoruba.
Yes.
Okay.
I practice one of the oldest African spiritual practices in the world.
I'm learning so much today. I'm so excited. I don't really know that much about your culture. And I apologize to say
That's
I don't.
okay.
But, if we're not exposed to it, we don't know.
This is true.
And we were actually talking a little bit about that on Facebook today.
Perfect.
People were talking about how, what's going on in the world, that sometimes what's going on over France,
Yes.
what had happened recently over in Africa.
Yes.
The negative, stuff that's going on, the violence that's going on, and it not being as widely maybe perceived, that it was as widely broadcast when it happened in Africa, but now it's being more widely broadcast in France.
Exactly.
And, Michelle Johnson brought that up, on Facebook this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I was thinking, and we had a lot of responses to that, that it's a lot about what the news prints, what the news shows, what the news lets us know about.
Exactly. It's all about the media, actually.
But one of the things that was really important, too, that came out of that, which you just brought up again, and which I thought of, is that we're not familiar. We are not familiar enough with the depth of the culture from Africa that we're going to share. We're going to learn some more about today.
Absolutely.
And then we're going to be celebrating for the Schools of Africa
Yay.
on Thursday, the
Yay.
19th.
I'm so excited about that.
So it's good for all of us to know more and more about cultures around the world. So so I learned something new,
Right.
and so I understand about our heads and stuff, because I know that our energy and the reason we always work something at night, like to go to bed in,
Yes.
is to protect
Yes.
the energy.
Yes.
And then, of course, men wear hats usually.
Yes.
Of course, it was men wearing hats mostly to protect them from the elements.
Yes.
Right? And also to keep their heads warm. That's the way we think of it. We don't
Yes.
think of it as a protection against the energy out
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Yet, we do a lot of holistic and healing and stuff like that, right?
Yes,
And we're
yes.
aware of things like that when we are on the table, lying on a table, and so it's nice to know about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, that's primarily why I have my head covered. In my tradition, as I said, I practice one of the oldest African spiritual practices in the world. It comes from the Yoruba people in Nigeria, West Africa. It's actually practiced throughout the world, but that's where it originated from. And so in that tradition, I am a practicing priestess. So the proper title would be an Iyawo for Ifa, which is why my name is Ifa Yomi.
Okay. Well, I know I won't remember all of that, and I
Yes,
don't know how to
that's
spell
okay.
it. But you also have beautiful shell necklace that you're wearing,
Yes.
and a couple of beautiful necklaces. And what is this? This is a little pouch?
Yes.
Is it for protective herbs?
Actually, it's for protective crystals.
Crystals, okay. I know
Crystals.
crystals. I know crystals. Well, through Katrina Raphael.
Yes. So I also work. There is a spiritual metaphysical boutique here called The Spirit Within You.
Oh.
And so I work at The Spirit Within You. And so there we offer spiritual services. We have practitioners there. We have a metaphysical boutique as well as in the building as well as online. And so we have crystals and candles and sage and all of those things like that. And so there is a vendor that we work with that makes all of these pouches so that people can carry their crystals on their body. So this pouch was specifically made for me with this symbol on the back, this number 7, as well as my name on the back. And in these beads right here, the shells, I gave her a bracelet that my mother, one of the last things that my mother gave me before she passed away. And the bracelet was white beaded, and I used to wear it, but it was a little too big for me, and I didn't want to lose the beads. So I would carry it in my pouch with my crystals.
yeah.
And so she put it in here. And the beads are a part of the necklace of the pouch.
So are the beads made of ivory?
Not the ones that my mother gave me, but these are.
Those
yes.
are, yeah. And then, so as far as crystals, I know I studied with Katrina Raphael years
Yes,
ago.
yes.
When what was it, the research? Oh gosh, there was a whole thing. It was happening. Like the alignment of the planets and everything. It was back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, I think. And anyway, so I remember I went to Sedona, and there was a workshop there with Katrina Raphael, and we were
Great
all
place.
working. We were all working with the crystals, and a lot of people were wearing a lot of rose quartz. It's
Yes.
very protective.
Yes.
And also one of the stones that I worked with was malachite, which is very
nice.
powerful.
Yes, it is. Yes,
and it
it
will
is.
bring up some things
Yes,
if you're
it
not very
will.
careful.
Yes, it
so I do know a little bit about the crystal works. How it's been used. In the energy. In fact, I have a desk. Believe it or not, I have a desk that's made of onyx. Okay,
Oh,
the top
wow.
is,
Nice.
and when I had my computer on top of it, it's beautiful. It's
Yes,
gorgeous, right?
of course
And we
it is.
use granite and stones and all this stuff in our homes, on our countertops. And here I am at the desk, and I'm trying to use my computer. My computer wasn't working. It was not working. It was, and then I thought, gee, I wonder. I wonder if it has something to do with the energy coming from this,
Yes.
this onyx. So what I did is I put like something underneath the computer, like a cardboard or something, and then it worked. And so I ended up putting glass on top so that it would work.
And it did?
It did.
Yes,
It did.
yes.
So definitely there is energy that comes from crystals and stones. And just besides the electrical is stuff that we have all around us bombarding us and on the phones that we use all the time.
Absolutely.
Folks, that nobody talks about. Anyway, nobody talks about the bad stuff we're getting from here. But I do understand there's little things that you can put on the back of your phones, too, to keep that energy from going. I don't know. I'm straying from the subject here.
That's okay.
So now I want to go back to then, I want to go back to how we met. We met through, actually, it's through Samla.
Yes.
Dingus?
Yes, one of my
Okay.
good friends.
And I met her several years ago. She became a WEMA member.
Yes.
And she came to town and she said, look, I've been putting on events in different cities and I want to come here and I want to do some things. And we said, well, great, let's do it together. And then I was part of one of the events that she did over at the library a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And then when we were doing this project and the Women's Federation for World Peace, Kimio Anthony came to me, and Karen Rice, of course, who's a WEMA member, had brought us together.
Okay.
And she said, it's for the Schools of Africa project. And I said, well, let's have some African dancing.
Yay.
And here we are.
Here we are.
So that's our connection. Boom, 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 boom.
Yes,
And
yes.
so we are going to be getting to watch Nandi Watanara.
Nandi Watanara.
African Dance and Drum Ensemble.
Yes.
This Thursday evening, you're going to be performing for us.
Yes, and we're so looking forward to it. This is so exciting. Just to be, first of all, sharing our passion for the art of African dance, the art form of African dance. And then secondly, to be able to share that art form with a group such as the Women for World Peace. It's a phenomenal opportunity for us. So we're really looking forward to it.
Well, I'm excited about it. As you know, probably from talking with everybody, is that WEMA, is Women in Music and Arts.
Yes.
And we do have men too, so we call it
Yes,
Women and
yes.
Men in Music and Arts. And the whole reason I founded that organization was because I come from a long line of women that were in the arts and are still in the arts. Artists. My mom was an artist.
Yes.
She also sang and danced as a child.
Yes.
And of course, my father's a musician. So I've grown up in the arts and I've been involved in it. And I believe in it.
So do I, Sandy.
I believe in continuing to share the arts and to nurture our
Yes.
artists
Yes.
and showcase them
Yay.
every time we can.
Yes.
So how did Nandi Watanara come together?
Well, it's really interesting because there is another phenomenal African dance group here called Olabisi, okay? And so all of us actually, Olabisi got started about 20 years ago. And so there were people inside of Olabisi that started moving just kind of like in another artistic direction, but knowing and recognizing and appreciating the foundation of Olabisi. So we're all still kind of working together. It's just that there were a couple of people that wanted to do something a little bit different, and so we created Nandi Watanara. So and the reason why bringing Olabisi up is important because we are them and they are us still. And I say that because
You're
that was the
connected.
whole, and that was the whole purpose or the premise behind the name that we have created for this group, Nandi
Okay.
Watanara. Because Nandi is a Guinea word and it means truth, okay? Watanara means all coming together from the Susu people. So what Nandi Watanara means in essence is all coming together, operating in truth. So even though Olabisi is here and Nandi is here, we're still all working together for the truth of African dance and culture. So that's what it's really all about.
Well, that's wonderful. And I was just looking up on the phone. I know you saw me looking up on the phone. This is what we refer to all the time now, folks. Facebook, our emails, our texting, our messaging, and there's so many different messaging services. Anyway, so I was looking for Laquitha's last name. Is it pronounced Lutal?
Lutale.
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 Yeah, so Laquitha, came out to meet us over at the
Yes.
Old School Brewing Company, which is where we're going to be having the event Thursday evening.
Yes.
And she brought the group out, and I guess you guys looked at that. Were you there with her the other night?
Actually, I wasn't there because I
Saturday.
had a prior commitment.
Okay.
And so I didn't go to the space, but I will definitely
Well,
be
she
there
brought
on
her
Thursday.
beautiful daughter.
Yes.
Gorgeous. And so they came and looked at the space, and it's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to set the drums up. I guess you'll have a couple of drums.
Yes.
Drummers.
Yes, we'll have some
And,
drummers.
we're going to have a jazz band over in one corner, and then you guys are going to set up on the other corner, and then you guys are going to be dancing, and you can go actually around the entire restaurant, I think. Or, well, not just the restaurant side. We're not going into the bar side, but anyway.
Yet.
Yet. Maybe later.
Right.
That's after the show. Anyways. But so she got a chance for the dancers to look at the space and scope it out and see where. And we're going to be decorating in some African fabric that
Nice.
was donated, and the Old School. I slow down in this Old School Brewing Company. They're also going to do some decorations for us too.
Oh, that's going to be
Yeah,
so
yeah.
awesome. Well,
Yeah.
we're really, really looking forward to it.
And it's a United Nations masquerade ball.
The same day?
That is it. I mean,
Oh,
it's the
wow.
same
I
thing.
had no
Yes.
idea.
Yeah. So, we're encouraging, not everybody will dress up, but some people will dress up, and then we're going to have a costume contest, that evening. So it'll be a lot of fun. So we're going to have some people in different costumes from around the world,
Oh, that is so awesome. Once I've danced and performed African dance for over 25 years.
Wow.
It is the truth of who I am. And actually, I came to know my spirituality through African dance. And it is because of that I always refer to the fact that it saved my life.
Wow.
Yes. And so.
How's that?
Well, because it brought me into awareness of who I am, first as a person, secondly as a woman, and thirdly as a African woman living in America, because my lineage is from Africa. And so once I was in total awareness of that, it shifted everything in my life, how I presented myself, how I showed up, because now I'm clear about who I am, my history. And it was through African dance that I was able to really grasp on to that and the importance of it. Which also speaks to why I'm so passionate about sharing the art form, and when I say sharing it, I don't mean just from the perspective of performing it. I also mean from the perspective of teaching it and teaching it correctly.
It's a life.
It is. It is
It's
a way of life
lifestyle,
for me.
way of
Yes,
life, yes.
it is a way of life for me. Absolutely.
I was introduced to African dancing back in Los Angeles when I lived there. My girlfriend, Janet Robbins, who is a singer, she's Marty Robbins' daughter. She's a songwriter, and she and I have been friends for a long time. And she said, I'm going to go take this class. Would you like to join me? And I said, yes. So we went and took this African dance class.
Do you remember where it was?
It was south of Los Angeles, because I lived in the Valley. I lived in San Fernando Valley.
Okay.
I think at the time I was living in North Hollywood, and so I know we went south of Los Angeles, off of the 45. I think maybe Culver City,
Oh, okay. Okay.
maybe around the
Okay.
Culver City area, but I don't remember exactly the street that
That's
it
okay.
was on.
I was
But
just curious. Yes.
it what was great about it is they of course had the drums. They had I don't know if they had 2 or 3 drummers there, and they were the long, the big like logs drums,
Okay.
lying down.
Yes.
Logs, with a hole cut in it like that. No?
Oh, the wood log.
Yeah.
Oh,
wood
yes,
logs.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay, yes. I know exactly what
and
you're
they're
talking
drumming on
about.
those.
Yes,
And
yes.
then they had, something else, but they had those. And what was very interesting about it for me, because I've done, I've been a singer and I'm a singer forever and a performer. So I was in musical comedies. We did dance, which was a lot of times in a show I'd be taught the choreography, whatever that was, whether it was jazz,
Yes.
whether it was tap, whether it was lyrical,
Yes.
whether it was. So then I studied ballet and jazz and tap. Those were things that I studied. And the difference is when you do African dance, for me, the biggest difference was it was not up here, which a lot of our dance seems. I mean, even though we are grounded in our own way, we're wearing shoes. And in the African dance classes, we did not wear shoes. And I noticed the emphasis was connecting with Mother Earth, connecting down to the ground, and having this strong stance, similar to Tai Chi, which in that culture, Tai Chi is very connected to the ground. So it was very interesting, and also using the body in a lot different ways in here, like a lot of the,
Well, it utilizes, yes, it utilizes
different.
all of the body. African dance is one of the only forms of dance that you use your entire body.
Right.
Now, what's most interesting about it is that the movements are they're isometric. So what that means is you are doing different parts of your body are doing different things.
We call that isolation.
Isolation.
in
Thank
jazz.
you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I meant to
isolation,
say.
yeah, but
yes, that was correct.
Yeah.
So it's isolation,
Right.
and so there are different parts of your body doing different things,
Yeah.
but they're doing it all at the same time.
Right.
So as a result of that, you utilize all of your body.
And the energy flows differently.
The energy flow.
Not that one
If
is
you
better than
allow
the
it,
other.
Yes.
Not that one is better, because we use all our body when we're
Yes.
doing jazz and tap and everything.
Yes.
However, it is a different. There is something that when you're connected consciously like that you're
Yes.
connected to the earth, and that you could do this on the ground, out on the on the dirt, on the grass, on the rocks, whatever.
Yes.
There's something that is maybe it's that spiritual part of it.
Well, it's definitely
The connection.
very spiritual, because dance is spiritual.
Yes.
So even if we remove the African part of it, we're still, dance itself is spiritual, and it is a form of praise. However, in African dance, because most dances are done for specific things, right? It was a way to pray to the gods, right? For in cases of famine, in cases of illness, et cetera, et cetera. And so the drums actually call on the spirits, and then the movements is a part of the prayer. So there are certain dances, depending upon where you are in Africa and from what tribe, that are done for specific things.
And this reminds me a little bit, of shamanism and the
Yes.
Indians,
It's very
American
close.
Indians,
Yes.
Cultures around the world, other parts of the world, which, have that similarity where there is a cause why
Yes.
they're doing it. They're reaching out.
Absolutely.
And are you familiar with Twyla Thorpe?
I am.
Do you remember her?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh,
and she
gosh.
was a spirit. She,
That's a
wild,
lot.
and she
Yes.
was, for her time, was a little different, and very expressive, and took things outside
Yes.
of the buildings.
Yes.
You know what? We're going to come back. We're going to have a brief pause from one of our sponsors here, maybe a couple, and then we're going to be back to talk more about, what you're doing, your culture, and the African dance, and our event coming up.
Yay!
So we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors.
You're listening to the all-new Sandy Kastel and Friend Show. Now, let's bring back the host. Here is Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends. Don't give me a look like that. Look at this girl behind the board. She's giving me a look like I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, it's okay. It's my show, Anyways, I got to tease her. What's your name again? Beth. Beth. Hi, Beth. How are you? She's not used to me. We've only gotten to do the show. We've only had the show. We've only done the show a couple times together, and so it's nice to have new faces. Though I've worked with Mike, the Boxcar. Is it Boxcar? Bobcat, Boxcar, whatever. Hi, Mike. I know you're in the other room, and of course we have John Stiles behind the camera. Hi, John, doing it with style, and also we have. We have Lawrence, who has been doing my shows also. Yeah, and he's wonderful. Everybody has their own personality and their own techniques. And you know what? That's also what Women in Music and Arts is all about. I was excuse me, I got fuzz over here. Notice my nice scarf I was wearing?
I was looking at that. It is absolutely gorgeous.
This was a gift a couple of birthdays ago, and I don't often get a chance to wear it. But this year... I'm using it.
And the cool thing about those is that you can pull them out on a day like today, right? Keep you warm, but you don't have the bulkiness of a coat, the bulkiness of a sweater, so you can flip it off, then you can make a gele.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. You could either make a gele or wrap it around your neck. So those are really cool and fun.
You know what? I've been exposed to a few different things this year. Karen Rice, do you know Karen?
I'm not sure I do.
Okay, she brought me a sari.
A sari. Yes, sari.
Yes, and oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I'm like, but where am I going to wear it? I don't go out. It's different in our culture because that's not the kind of dress that I wear. But it was beautiful, and I dressed up in it, and I was thinking, where am I going to wear this, But maybe I could wear it at this event.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say
if I could figure out how to put it on, she'd have to help me dress.
Yes. One time I was traveling. I traveled quite a bit because, in addition, I just live my life as an artist because in addition to what I do,
don't we all?
Right, isn't it? But it took me a long time to get to that point because growing up, people look at artisans, if you will, as just airy, flary, flighty people who really don't have any focus or don't have any goals because they just create but that's
I don't know what you're talking about. But you're right.
But that's what I knew growing up. And so when you would talk to your parents or people in your family about doing something that wasn't what they considered, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, for lack of a better description, then it was like, oh, you can't do that. How are you going to make money? How are you going to make a living? You can't do that. And so I realized that, for me, becoming an artist was in stages, or accepting that that's who I was in stages. So from the first one was just, I remember thinking, wow, I'm a dancer. Like, I had successfully auditioned and performed with some very professional dance companies. And that took a lot of work to do because I was, for a long time, in my head about, you can't do this, you can't make a living at it, and all of that. And so then it was from there that I started to notice more about who I was artistically. I mean, look at me. I'm a walking piece of art. I mean, that's...
Yes, you are. She is. But now when you talk about that you were in other companies, you were in other traditional dance companies?
No, but let me say this, because African dance is an art form in itself, and it could be a traditional dance company here in the America, here in this country, or as we like to refer to as the diaspora. So the companies that I was with, although on the surface, if you hear their names, it's very African, but we all were a multiple performing arts company. So we did everything. We danced, we sang, we act, and we did it with all of the different genres of dance. So there wasn't. Oh, yes.
Jazz?
Absolutely.
You
I
did
did jazz. I did tap.
You did?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I would ask you to show me a tap.
Oh, my gosh. Now that's something that most people do not ask me for, right? Like, get on top of the counter and just do a tap do a tap step.
These are our tapping hands.
Most people ask me to do a couple of steps there, African dance, right?
Of course, of course.
I was talking to some people the other day about another African martial arts, and it is a form of dance as well called capoeira, right?
Okay.
And capoeira comes out of Brazil. And so we were talking, and someone says, "Oh, I didn't know you knew capoeira." And I said, "Well, I'm a dancer. Of course I know capoeira." And then they said, "Oh, well, there's a major step, a fundamental step in capoeira called Jenga." And so then they put me on the spot and said, "Okay, so show me your Jenga."
Show me your Jenga. It's kind of like
Show me your Jenga. And so I said, I knew you were going to say that. So I showed my Jenga, but no one never asked me, "Oh, show me a tap step." It's either some form of African dance. When I talked about being an artist.
African tap dancing?
No African tap dancing. No.
Well,
However,
there you go.
there are
Something to create.
Yeah, there you go. But it becomes very, very funky and African-like.
Yes.
Depending upon who is doing the tapping.
Yeah.
I am also a plant-based chef, and I had auditioned with the Next Food Network star, and so the Food Network. Right, the Next Food Network star, excuse me, and I was in Denver, and, they have you fill out all of this information and everything, and they want to know all about you. So when I came into the callback, right, they was like, "So we hear that you are a dancer." And I said, "Yes, I am." And they was like, "Okay, well, dance." And so I had on these 3-inch heels, right, Sandy, because I'm always in heels, love them.
Yep, me too.
I had on these 3-inch heels doing African dance in front of the camera for the Food Network.
My
and
gosh.
so, yeah.
Did you get a lot
of
of people calling in or texting you saying, "What was that?" Right. We don't wear heels high.
Exactly.
African dance. But that's flexibility, and that's ingenuity, and that's being flexible and creative.
And
So,
creative.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yes.
And when asked to do, you did.
Yes.
And so did you get the part?
I did not get the part that I was going for.
The chefing part.
Right. I did not get the chefing position, but they were very impressed with my African dance moves, I must say.
So what do you said you're a plant-based
I'm a plant-based chef. So in
so
translation.
it's all natural foods?
Yes. Just
okay.
a vegan chef.
A vegan chef. Okay, so is it all raw, or is it a variation
It's
of
a
cooked
variation
and raw?
of cooked and raw.
Okay. So which is also very healthy for us.
Absolutely.
I'm going to
very
have to
healthy.
get her on, and talk about this with the Fit and Fabulous forever.
Well, it's interesting
segment.
that you should say that, because when I heard you say that, when I looked at your website, I
Yeah.
didn't see that aspect
Right.
of what you do.
Right.
But when I turned 50, I had this whole thing that I was
50, she looks 30, doesn't she?
Thank you.
Look at her.
Yeah,
I
when
know.
I turned 50 a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
I was like, fit, 50, fit, fine, and fabulous.
Oh.
That was,
You know what? I came up with all these terms too, Sexy at 60,
no, you
Fit
can't
and
be
fabulous.
sexist.
But
Yes.
when I came up with Fit and Fabulous forever, I just thought whatever age we are. Because, just like the other day, I was sitting with the ladies, and we were over at the old school brewing company, and we were talking about the event, and we're sitting there with a wide range of women, ages from, 30-something to 60-something. And we mentioned somebody else that couldn't be there today, and they said something about, well, how old is she or something? And I said, I don't know, she's our age. Our age.
Okay.
Because we're from 30 to 60. I don't really compute,
Yes.
that I'm older or I'm younger, I'm this, or that she's young. When I'm in a dance class with an 18-year-old
Yes.
standing next to me,
Yes.
and she's listening to music from 1970s,
Yes.
and she's saying, "Oh, this is great new music. I've never heard this before," and I'm thinking, okay. It was in high school for me, right? And but I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, well, I know she's younger. I don't know how much younger though.
Right.
Because I think as creative people,
Yes.
we are youthful. I don't care if we're 103. We are youthful, and we express that, and it shines from within us,
Yes.
and it comes from here.
Yes.
And I'll tell people, and I'll tell them, I told lots of people this, and I believe this, that what we have in here is our passion.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever we're passionate about. And for somebody, it may be accounting. It's
Yes.
not for me. But for me, it's singing, performing.
Yes.
And it's also, and always has been, uplifting people and sharing what I have to give and helping them to learn things for themselves.
I agree, and
Yeah.
and that's really what keeps you young
That's right.
and vibrant.
Yeah.
It is your passion for life. It is your passion for the things that you do. It's your passion for people.
Right.
I mean, that's the position from which I function. That's what keeps me young. It is so funny that you mentioned that, because when I got out my car, you know, I'm circling around the building and I'm looking for C building, you know, and I had gotten here a little bit early, but I kept circling around, and then I finally figured it out. So then when I got to the C building, it said 216. So I was like, oh, that's on the second floor, right? So I get to the stairs and I see the sign that says elevator, right? So I looked around the corner and I didn't see the elevator, and then I looked again and I said, oh, forget it. By the time I find the elevator, I could be up the stairs, right? So I'm running up the stairs, and I said to myself in the process, I love my life because this doesn't affect me. I can run up and down these stairs all day long. And so
Right.
I am so thankful for that, you know, that my life as a dancer, fitness instructor, health enthusiast, et cetera, has allowed me to be at this phase in my life still feeling like I did when I was 16. As a matter of fact,
That's
I
right.
feel better.
That's right. Well, my dad is 86, okay?
Oh,
He just
I love
turned
it.
86 years old. And when we were kids, he used to fill those big mugs, you know, the big beer mugs, you know,
Yes.
with cod liver oil, bone
I
meal.
love it.
All this stuff that was healthy for us, right? And then he made us take the vitamins, you know. We're taking the vitamins and we're drinking this drink and we're going, because cod liver oil, bone meal.
I know,
It was
right?
before they had chocolate flavored and vanilla flavored,
Yes.
strawberry flavored,
Or green
drinks,
smoothies for
or
that
green
matter.
Smoothies, yeah. Anyway, so but that one step that he started us on when we were children, he has continued all of his life. And of course, he's 86 years old. Yeah, you know, he's slowed down a
Yes,
little bit.
of course,
Yes, has he
of
seen a
course.
difference in, you know, but, you know, when he's out on his property out in Pahrump, you know, he's got an acre and a quarter, and he's out there and he's, you know, mowing the grass and he's watering the lawn and he's cutting the trees, whatever he's doing. He says, well, I still do the same things. I just do it a little slower.
I love it.
But it sets up, and that's why the cooking that you're doing, the chefing that you're doing,
Yes.
the plant-based chefing,
Yes.
I'm sure is very good for
Yes.
keeping you healthy and vibrant and getting the nutrients that we do need, because we do need the good nutrients.
Yes, we do.
And we need dance in our lives.
Yes.
Any kind of dance. All right, I've got to take this off. I've got it's a little warm in here now. I'm getting warm. You know, so I want to talk a little bit more about this event that's coming up on Thursday.
Yes.
So, Women in Music and Arts. It's about the arts, but it's about people. It's about supporting who you are, following your passion, and having a circle around you of people that are supportive also. Because sometimes we have naysayers. You know, we have people that say,
Yes.
oh, you can't do that. What do you think? What do you think? You
I know,
why do you
right?
think you can do that? Or you'll never be able to do this, or you're too old, you're too young, you're too tall, you're too thin. And I wrote a song called Don't Tell Me I Can't.
I love it.
Right? Don't tell me I can't. Don't tell me I won't. Don't tell me I never will, because you'll be sorry when I'm gone. Anyway, but the point is that all of us have heard that at one time or another in our lives, even if it was just like you said, growing up, and people expecting you to be in the norm, you know,
Yes.
going to school, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be something that you're going to make money at, that you can support yourself, which is all good. We do need money to support ourselves. Okay, so we do have to think about these things. However, there has been this mentality about that that as an artist, you have to be a starving
Right,
artist,
exactly.
which I do not agree with.
Neither do I.
I never have. And I do see people, I've seen it through WEMA, I've seen people come in and out of the organization. They come in, they want to be a part of something as long as it's benefiting them, but then they
Yes.
don't turn around and support us with the other things that we're doing.
Right, exactly.
And or they feel like, well, I can't pay $25 to go. Okay, maybe they can't. Well, then talk to me and let's do a sliding scale.
Exactly.
Instead of feeling like that they can't do anything. If you say you can't do anything, you're never going to be able to do it.
Exactly.
All right? So we're out to help the Schools of Africa Project.
I think that
the
is
Schools
so
of Africa Project. Now, the Women's Federation for World Peace. I was just back in Washington, D.C., and I learned so much more about them. You know, I was there at the event. I sang at the event.
Oh
They
my
asked
God,
me.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the website, right, and
Yeah.
you know, doing my homework and my due diligence
Yeah.
before I get on the show here today, and First of all, I thought that they were just here in Las Vegas.
No.
I did not realize they're
United
like in about
Nations.
25 different states here in the
That's
United
right.
States.
That's right.
I was so impressed with that.
Yeah, and they are recognized by the United Nations. They actually are, they go there and they talk, at the United Nations and stuff, and they help to find ways of helping people in the world. So what happened is originally it was the wife of Sun Young Moon. Okay.
Yes.
And so they both had started this, and it was about going into the countries and helping.
And
as
they're
much
from
as they can.
Korea, correct?
From Korea, yes. Oh, not Japanese, but they had a group of Japanese women.
Yes.
No, that came, and they're Japanese, Korean, they're all over.
Yes.
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 And so what they did is there were probably 15, 16, 17 of them, 20 of them. They went into these different cities in Africa, and they started helping to build the schools.
Yes.
Build the schools, helping them to have clothes to wear at the schools, helping them to feed at the schools, all these things, and teach them what? Also, in addition to language and arithmetic, music and arts.
But we're talking about the English. Are you talking about the English language? Because
No, they also, I don't know if they, yes, I think so.
Yes, it would have to be because even the
a lot of
cultural part of it, it's like,
Because because a lot, what I've noticed is meeting people from around the world, no matter where it's Europe or Asia or anywhere, almost everybody learns the English language.
Yes.
Okay. Except some people that move here that want to work that don't think that they have to. Anyway, so I'm sorry, but if I moved to China, I'd have to learn the Chinese language to work there. But anyway, but a lot of people in other cultures learn our language so that they can either get educated, they go to college, they might come here to go to college, go back to their own country and work and become doctors and lawyers and all this stuff too, right? So there seems to be a draw to the other world to do that. Now, so whatever, they went over to the African schools, and what they do is they raise money for these schools of Africa, and they're bringing it in so that they can bring all this education to them, and to help give them an awareness and give them an education so that they can learn how to do something else with their lives.
That is
instead
so awesome.
of just hang around and not have anything to do. All right, that's her buzzing, but it's okay. We buzz. We buzz. That's what happens.
We do.
So. But so did I get off track? Anyway, probably. But this has been so interesting because we've got so much to talk about, and I really want to invite everybody to come out. Okay, Thursday, the 19th. Okay, call me, RSVP 702-348-5707. That's 702-348-5707. We are going to be having that event from 6 to 9 at the Old School Brewing Company, and it's so nice because Nick and Bud, the owners, are donating the facility for us.
Oh, that is so awesome.
And Chef Michael's going to be cooking his wonderful authentic Italian South Philadelphia food for us that we all love and gain a lot of weight on. Anyway, so and it's not plant-based, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But he does just use 4 spices. And so I'm really hoping that everybody will come out. So give me a call. Make your reservation. It's only $35 for all of this. You're going to get to see the Nandi Watanara.
And not only that, it's at 6 o'clock. So we are opening for you guys, I believe. We're going to open up the whole event, which is perfect because in most African cultures and of such, there's always a drum call when
excuse me. Got a tickle, folks.
There's always a drum call to bring the community together to do
there
events.
is.
Yeah, so
So you're going to be bringing us together at the beginning of the
right
event.
at the beginning of the event, and I said that specifically for 2 reasons. I want to leave your listeners with a couple of things before we go.
Okay.
One, the drum call is important because, like I said, that's how we brought the different tribes together was through
Right.
drum calls, especially for events and stuff like that. And then in African dance, the drummer is just as important as the dancer. So we were looking at our drummer. We were looking for a drummer. I thought he was going to be here. He's not here. So I'm going to just say
Maybe he's drumming his way over here.
Maybe he's drumming his way over here. So you say there's an old African proverb that goes, you say you want to dance, did you ask the drummer? Okay, because right?
Did you ask the drummer?
And the reason why that is because the dancer and the drummer, they're actually speaking a language together while they are performing. So the drummer is talking to the dancer and the dancer is responding. So there's a whole nother communication that's going on.
And it's about building a foundation, too.
And it's about building.
In any kind of music, you know,
Right.
even with the jazz band,
Yes.
you have the drums and the bass and the guitar. So
Yes.
the bass is, the basic is starting with the drums.
Which is really just our heartbeat.
Heartbeat. You know, the address for this old school brewing company is 8410 West Desert Inn. Thank you, John Stiles. 8410 West Desert Inn. And that is right at Durango and Desert Inn in that shopping center there.
And before we go, Sandy, I would
Yes.
like to let your listeners know, as well as you all know, the mission statement for Nandi Wantanara
Okay.
and who we are. So our mission is to educate, uplift, and enhance the understanding of multicultural traditions, utilizing the various art forms of dance, music, and theater. In addition, we also seek to bring pride and respect to the diverse cultural practices of ethnic groups throughout the diaspora, which is here in the United States.
Thank you so much. It's
You're
been so
welcome.
wonderful having you on the show.
Likewise, thank you for having me.
And I'm so glad you're going to be here on Thursday
Yes, I
at our
will.
event. And it is the WEMA United Nations Masquerade Ball. It is to benefit the Women's for World Peace Schools of Africa project. So we hope you'll join us. It's only $35. Please give me a call at 702-348-5707. Make your RSVP to me. Thank you. And we will see you Thursday night. Okay? Show up and wear a costume, and maybe you'll win a prize. We have a bunch of different silent auction items. We have raffle prizes. We have all kinds of things. Wonderful entertainment with the Dick Kastel Band, my dad, and, of course, wonderful Chef Michael's cooking, and, of course, the wonderful
Nandi Wantanara,
Nandi Wantanara.
African Dance and Drum Ensemble.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, and we will see you Thursday night.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
for having us.
She was a wild child right from the start, spent her time daydreaming in school. Her parents and teachers didn't approve. She didn't like living by their rules. She was a dropout at 17, joined a local rock and roll band. Her mother and father were shocked and confused because it didn't fit into their plans. She said, you can take away the money or the keys to my new car. You can yell and scream or shout.